Hey, what's up guys? I hope you're all having a great day. I'm your host with a beard, and today I am reviewing this 2021 or 2022 Audi Q3 tfsi E, more specifically the 45 engine specification of this car, which has about 245 horsepower and around 400 Newton meters of torque. So without further ado, let's jump right into the review. Check it out.
First of all, let me thank Audi Lagrou for providing me with this car and making this review possible. I will link their website down below in the description, so be sure to go and check them out.
Alright, here we have it guys. The Audi Q3 tfsi E plug-in hybrid. Fitted with the S-Line package, as you can immediately tell by the front bumper. Blacked out grille, looks pretty cool, matching with the grayish color of the car. And we have some side vent designs here. These are closed just for styling purposes. They have no function whatsoever. It is open down here. These holes you see over here and over here, that is where the radar functions of the car modules fit in when you option out that package, which this car does not have, sadly. And it's kind of sad that you have the holes in here so everybody can see, oh, he didn't have money or didn't want to spend money on the upgraded systems. But hey, this one has the upgraded matrix lights with the daytime running lights right here, which I'm going to show you guys later. These are the blinkers. Pretty cool headlight design in my opinion. Moving to the side of the car. So this is where you charge the electric battery, and the S-Line logo, because this car has the S-Line package fitted on it. Not immediately my choice of rims, but they do drive really soft and offer a very comfortable ride. I would go for larger rims, 20 inch, 19 maybe. Beautiful rear view mirror design with the integrated turn signals in it, and it's a pretty high car. I always thought that a Q3 was like a smaller version, you know. I mean, it is a smaller version of the Q5 and the Q7, but I always thought it was going to be a small car, but this is pretty large actually, as you guys can see. So this car has the chrome package deleted, no chrome trims anywhere, everything is blacked out, which looks awesome. Moving to the rear of the car, and we see the fully LED tail lights with the dynamic pinkers, because an Audi isn't an Audi if you don't have these pinkers. And no tailpipes, as we can see right here. There is one, but it's all the way under the car. I don't know if you guys can see it. Right there you have it. Double tailpipe even. And I like it like this because, I mean, you can't really say this is mimicking a tail pipe, but I like this better than them putting fake exhausts on it, you know, fake exhaust tips and then the actual exhaust sticking out under the car. So if you want to do it, just do it clean like this. We have a diffuser here, obviously not really functional, just for styling purposes. 45 tfsi right here, which means this car has 245 horsepower and about 400 Newton meters of torque. So let me open up the trunk of the car. Let's get this out of the way. It's decently large, not the largest. There is no loading lip right here, and this part here is a bit elevated because of the battery underneath. And obviously the charging cable will take some amount of space, but you can always put it in this bag that you get with the car. And electrically closing, of course. Just like that. And now let's take a look at the interior of the Audi Q3 tfsi E plug-in hybrid. The door opens, not the widest, but you still have enough room to easily get into the car like this. Immediately you see the S-Line Sports steering wheel with the flat bottom. Gorgeous steering wheel with stitched and perforated leather right here, and just stitched leather over here with the S-Line logo over it. And then you have your various buttons for your various controls. And what I like is on this part you have Alcantara trim on the door handles, like here. Well, on the armrest of the door handles, and nice sturdy feeling buttons, quality. This is some piano black trim here that I don't really like because it's already, look, attracting dust and fingerprints and everything. We have the same Alcantara trim over here on the dashboard, and then some silver trims over here. Soft touch material dashboard, nice vent design all the way up here. This car is also optioned out with the S-Line Sports seats, not in leather in this particular car. Just the side bolster is in leather, and then this is just cloth. This car isn't full option either, but that's what I like. I like to review cars that aren't like fully optioned out, because realistically, normal people like me and you, we're never going to go and buy out cars that are going to be optioned out with all the packages and all the trims and everything, you know. And I like reviewing cars that are a little bit more realistic and more real world like, you know. So moving on. The seats are very comfortable. I've driven in it for a while now, and they really support you. They hug you really nice and tightly. And I think on longer journeys, you're going to sit just right in these. This car does have the virtual cockpit. So let me turn on the car. There we go. And then we can see the digital screen with all the information. You can change the view as we are used to from all Audi cars, like this. You can put your navigation in the middle and other various functions. Here you have the navigation, and then you can enlarge it like this. But I think everybody already knows the new MMI system of Audi. Moving on to the middle console. Let me put that away. We have our known and loved Audi MMI system, infotainment system right here. This is your media, so if you want to listen to music to the radio and everything, you want to go back to home, just press this button, and then you have the navigation system right here. Pretty large screen. It's pretty responsive. Always in the beginning when you turn on the car, it does have to lag a little bit, you know, like it's loading in or something, but you know, after a second or two, it just gets very responsive, very clear and crisp. Moving on the middle console, physical buttons for the climate control system. Well done, Audi. This is an automatic, of course, and we have a wireless charging pad for your smartphone right here. And then some cup holders, and then you have your parking buttons and your auto hold button. The middle console is not the largest, but still you can fit some stuff in here, like coins and small, like a phone or something, if you're not charging it right there, or your sunglasses. And you can put this forward and up or completely down like this. The glove compartment box is pretty large actually, but I think if you close it, because we have a system here for the airbag, this is, I think, and if you close it up, so it's best not to stack stuff in here. The door bins are very large actually, very deep, not the widest, but they do go back all the way in here, so I think you can fit a decent amount of stuff in here. Now let's see how practical the Audi Q3 tfsi-e is in the back. Very small doors actually. I'm a bit surprised for that, but anyway, they open up decently wide and access in the rear is very easy, just like that. Okay, I'm sitting upright now. This seat is in my position. I'm between 5'10", 5'11", and look at this. I got absolutely loads of knee room and headspace. Let me show you guys. As you guys can see, I have so much headspace left. So place in the rear is not going to be a problem at all. Okay, so the middle seat is kind of narrow and a bit harder than the seats on the sides, but I mean, there is a transmission tunnel running through the car as well, so let me check it out. Yeah, it's not as comfortable as the seats on the sides of the car, but still it's better than most other cars because, okay, the middle seat isn't that hard actually when I'm sitting on it now. You have a elevated position as well, so you can look out on the road, but for 2 long journeys as an adult, I would not want to sit here. You have some storage space in the door bins in the rear as well, although smaller than the ones in the front. And you can recline this part of the middle seat here as an armrest, which also reveals some cup holders. And back it goes. And now it's time to drive the Audi Q3 TFSI E. What does strike me as surprising is that the key of this car, there's no keyless, like a start-stop button or anything, and it's a regular key. And this is kind of surprising because with all the modern tech and everything, this being a hybrid, I would expect this to have a, you know, keyless entry and keyless start. But it's just, you just put the key in here and start it the old-fashioned way. You don't hear any sound because it starts off in electric mode. So this is a hybrid car. Let me change the view. So you don't hear anything and the screen welcomes you and everything. And when you start off, put it in drive with no sound, you're just moving on in electric mode. Okay, so I'm driving along now in comfort mode. Nice, relaxing. And now the engine has kicked in. Suspension soaks up the bumps pretty well. It's a nice soft ride, mainly because of these wheels as well. Because these are, I think these are only 17-inch rims on it. But the ride quality is just excellent because of that. You have a nice and elevated seating position, so you have a clear view over the road. I mean, obviously not as elevated as in a Q7 or a Q5 even, but still better than a regular car like an A6 or an A3. The sound deadening in the cabin is extremely well done. I can barely hear anything from the outside, just a faint shush of the cars that are passing by. Excuse the sunglasses, guys, because it's very bright weather today. The sun is just shining right into my face, and I wear lenses and my eyes are a bit sensitive to the light. The car is small. It's not like too small of a car, but it's small enough to maneuver around town. If you want a parking spot and it's a bit too tight, you can use the parking sensors with the rear view camera. And as I mentioned before, this car isn't fully optioned out, so we do have all around parking sensors, but not a 360-degree top-down camera. The steering wheel sits so well in your hands. It's very surprising. I'm driving in an SUV and it's just like this sporty steering wheel that feels very expensive, very upmarket, very high quality, and it's so tight, you know. Not the steering feel, of course, but the steering itself. And speaking about tight, let me put this car into dynamic mode like this, and you do feel the steering tightening up, but still it's a bit too vague for my taste. This car isn't meant to be driven in a sporty manner either. If you want this car but to drive sporty and with a lot of power, I'll just go for the RS Q3, which will have insane power and even greater handling. When the engine turns on, it is a bit noisy, especially when it's cold. You can hear it like go brrr, brrr, and that's one sound that does come into the cabin because obviously it's in the car itself. But as the car warms up, the sound does become a bit faint as well. These screens are so bright. I'm wearing sunglasses and I can see everything very, very clearly. There's no heads-up display in this car because the option isn't ticked on. Once again, a car that is not fully optioned out, as most regular people buy. And now floor the throttle. And the needle goes into boost mode. Yeah, it's decently quick. Not the quickest, not anything too exciting, but still, it is pretty quick. But the gears do respond very slowly. I am in dynamic mode. Even in dynamic mode, the gears are a bit too slow to respond, to kick back. And once again, it's not a sports car. It's not meant for any type of driving like this. The seats, as I mentioned before, are very comfortable. They will support you just fine on longer journeys. If you're commuting between work and home, it's going to be without any issues. You're not going to be tired at all. So what's my final verdict about this car? Well, overall, it's a good looking car, first of all. It's a roomy car, a practical car. You can easily put 3 kids back there, although not 3 adults, because the middle seat is a bit unpractical. Not too much as in its competitors, but still not the best. But you have plenty of space back there for 3 kids or 2 adults. And the boot is of a decent size. If you need more space, you can just recline the rear seats. Visibility is, it's okay. You know, the rear windshield or the rear window in the car is large enough so you can see everything back there. But if you turn around, you do have a blind spot, a huge blind spot actually, right there on your right, on the C pillar or the D pillar or whatever it is back there. But then again, you can opt out the 360-degree camera in this car if you really need it and if you don't trust yourself while parking. Well, this was it for today, guys. Thanks again. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Like, subscribe, share this video, and see you guys next time. Drive safely.